Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Peace I am as you. Expressions of the living God. Expressions of the living God. Expressions of the living God. That is who we are. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Beautiful expression of God. Be still and know that everywhere there is God. This is an old song by John Denver, and I thought before we got started, I've sung this here before, I think, and we'll just sing that again, and then we'll do our welcoming and our opening prayer. Sunshine on my shoulders, you can always sing with me, makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. And if I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today. And if I had a song that I could sing for you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. Sunshine Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost all the time makes me high. Sunshine, sunshine. Thank you. Thank you. It's always so nice to be here at my home church. I love it. Let's make sure this doesn't fall and make a lot of noise. There. Okay. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome to Unity Athens, everyone that's here in the congregation, here physically, and those of you out that are watching us on Facebook and online. We're so glad that you're here, and we love you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you. And I believe that next we have our opening prayer by Michele. Let's get the mic a little closer to you. There we go. We want to hear you.
All right. Well, usually this would what I would normally do for today is read the prayer for political peace that me and Martha wrote. But today, this morning, I also received daily thoughts from the Hill. This is from Hillside Church in Atlanta, and as a reflection on what's been just recently happened, I thought this would be a little bit more appropriate, even though both of them is the same basically, but I think our focus, this kind of speaks more to the focus of where we need to really zone our attention to. If everybody just take a few minutes, just a few deep breaths in and out. Just kind of get yourself centered. Relax and let go. I want to just have a few minutes for Paul Pelosi. And let's see him as God sees him. Whole, complete, in good health. I'm going to send him some light and some healing energy. Creator, we give thanks. Today, Sunday, October the 30th, I pray for our leaders. Raise your frequency to support our leaders. It is easy to bless those who care about, that we care about in our personal relationships. It can be more difficult to have empathy for those who are not in direct connection with us, especially authority figures. Leaders deserve and need our prayers, just like the homeless and the helpless. Leaders may have to make decisions on a moment's notice, and we expect them to use their executive powers wisely. It cannot be easy to carry the load of responsibility while being questioned by both friends and foes. Leaders are placed in front to represent us. Therefore, it is important for them to have our support. I pray today for the leaders of the world. I pray for harmony, wisdom, and justice to rule our leaders' hearts and minds. I pray for their decisions to be in divine order. And I'm adding, I also pray for their families and friends. And I send out prayers for all of us in the United States, that we may be open to our divinity and see each other's divinity. Thank you, zeal in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within. And so it is. 1 Kings 3:9, give therefore to thy servant an understanding heart to lead thy people and to discern between good and bad. Amen.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Michele. Thank you. That was powerful. Thank you so much. And let's see. Mary, if you will read the daily word for us, please. And then Nita, if you would read afterwards.
Good morning, Unity Athens. So exciting to see familiar faces and new faces here today. So today, for Sunday, October 30th, our word is protection. God is here, I am safe. Once in a while, I enjoy doing things that frighten me, sharing ghost stories around a campfire, watching a spooky movie, even savoring the uneasy feelings just before thundering down the first hill of a roller coaster. All these things can feel scary, even though I know I'm in no real danger. If I begin to feel unsafe in any situation, I remember that right where I am, God is. Breathing out, I release tension, my body relaxes, fearful thoughts begin to dissolve. Breathing in, I think more clearly. Slowly, I regain renewed strength and peace of mind. My confidence returns as I remember that nothing in the world can prevail against the strength and the wisdom and the love of God. And from Psalms, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Nita,
Wonderful to have Beth back with us today.
thank you.
This is from one of my favorite authors, Mark Nepo, and his book, The Book of Awakening, Having the Life You Want by Being Present to the Life You Have. Every year, around the scalp of the planet, the caribou run the same path of migration along the edge of the Arctic Circle. They are born with some innate sense that calls them to this path, and every year along the way, packs of coyote wait to feed on the caribou. And every year, despite the danger, the caribou return and make their way. Often nature makes difficult things very clear. What feels like confusion is frequently our human refusal to see things for what they are. What lessons do the caribou shout to us with the thunder of their hooves as they deepen the crown of the planet? They are evidence, even as we speak, of the fact that in every living being there is an inner necessity that outweighs all consequence. For the caribou, it's clear what it is. For spirits carried in human form, It is a blessing and a curse that we don't always know our calling. Part of our migration is the finding out. What is it we are called to beneath all formal ambition? The caribou tell us that though there are risks and dangers that wait in the world, we truly have no choice but to live out what we are born with, to find and work our path. These elegant animals bespeak a force deeper than courage, and though some would call the caribou stupid, the mystery of their migration reveals to us the quiet, irrepressible emergence of living over hiding, of being over thinking, of participating over observing, of thriving over surviving. In regions near the Arctic, the caribou are not just seen as animals living out an instinct at all cost. Rather, it is believed that their endless run, no matter what stands in their way, is what keeps the earth turning. And somewhere beneath all hesitation and despair, it is our endless call to being in each of us and all of us together that keeps the fire at the center of the earth burning. And here's some suggestions from Mark Nepo. Sit quietly and ask yourself, what are you called to? If you don't have a sense of inner calling, please read on anyway. Describe what arises without any conclusion. If you feel called to sing, do not conclude you need to become a singer. If you feel called to paint, do not conclude you need to become a painter. If you feel called to plant, do not conclude you need to become a gardener. Stay with the essence of what arises. Receive it as an energy that lives inside you and not as a goal you have to achieve.
Thank you.
Really good
I
selection.
like that so much. Let's see, in our announcements it says vote, 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 vote. So that's a great announcement, right? Vote, 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 vote. Our prayer chaplain this morning is Nita Matthews. See her for prayer after the service, and she just went to the back, but she was just up here, so we know who that is. If you're watching the live stream, please send a heart or a mention where you're watching from. Send us an email at unityathens@gmail.com, and you'll get a free booklet, and we'll send it out to you in the mail, in the snail mail. We'll send that to you. Bring non-perishable items to Unity Athens until Thanksgiving, and we will get them to the food bank of Northeast Georgia. For other news, see our weekly newsletter and view our website. I'm Beth Boilott, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to go ahead with my lesson and do a little musical prayer service at the end of the message. I have this little box. Would you like for me to turn this? May I set this away so we get no feedback? Is that all right? Is that okay? Thank you, Kevin. You're so kind. So today's lesson is on denials and affirmations. And we talk a lot about affirmations, but oftentimes we don't talk about the denials. And that's a really big piece of our work, our spiritual work. But I wanted to show you, tomorrow is trick or treat, Halloween, so I thought I'd bring you a treat. More than 30 years ago, I went on a crystal dig in Arkansas, and it was a lot of fun. It was like, being a little child and playing in the dirt. It was great. It really was. And you'd find these clumps, and they didn't look anything like a crystal. They just looked like clumps of mud, just a clump of mud. But you had to like move walls, which was really empowering. It was like, well, I moved a whole wall. But it's quite easy, actually. You have a little tool that you use. And then inside these walls are these little crystals that stick out. And so through the years, I have given them away, and I have a few left, and I wanted to share them with you. Some of these have been polished, some of them haven't. Some of them have points, and some of them don't. So what I'd like to do is I will start here and let you choose one and just pass them around, please. Oh, you're so welcome. And this has to do with our lesson, so. So with denials and affirmations, there are ways that we are in the world, that our behaviors that we develop, or it's kind of like we see someone and they have a behavior and we adopt that behavior from them, and it works for us for a while, and then maybe it doesn't after a while. But it certainly served its purpose. It's kind of like leaves on a tree. You see this beautiful tree, the leaves are there, they're beautiful, you admire it, you take into practice the way the tree is, and then the leaves fall onto the ground. Well, when the leaves fall onto the ground and the sticks fall onto the ground and the rocks all accumulate on the ground, it's really hard to plant a seed or a small plant because there's all this stuff there. There's all these things in the way, and we can't get to the soil. Although those things create soil, their time hasn't come yet, and so they're in the way. So what we do is we might try to plant that little plant, but it's really not going to thrive because it can't receive water. It can't really hear what it needs to hear. Can't really see what it needs to see to grow. Our affirmations are our seeds. Our affirmations are our seeds. All of the stuff on the ground that prevents the seed from taking root, those are the things that once may have served us but no longer do. And it's in community or in reading or in some type of podcast or something that you see that all of a sudden you feel this little brush up against something that might be an embedded belief that you've had for a long time, right? Something that you really believe. And you feel a little discomfort, because it's rubbing up against that, because you're thinking maybe something else is possible, which is the development of what we may want to affirm for ourselves. But it's a little uncomfortable while we're making that shift. I was in a class once when I was, it was early in Unity, and this friend of mine is now in ministry, and it was so funny because she was raised in another church, and when the minister who was teaching started praying and said, "Father, Mother, God," she shuddered, right? She said, and the minister said, "Are you all right?" Because it was an intimate group, and she said, "I was just waiting for the lightning bolt to come through the ceiling, because she was taught that was blasphemous." Well, in Unity, blasphemy is really speaking negatively about ourselves. You know, we're the expression of God. We are of goodness. We are a beneficial presence in this world. And as we speak negatively about that ourselves, then what happens is that we reduce ourselves. We're not limited, but we can reduce ourselves and keep ourselves from expanding into our fullness. Also, I saw a reaction like that when someone was speaking and said something about naming everyone the Christ, you know, like Christ Michele, Christ Martha, Christ Thea, Christ Mary, Christ Beth, Christ. And it caused a reaction within them, and that's the embedded part. You see, it's the embedded part. Even though Scripture states something different, states that we are that of God, when someone says it aloud and someone has been taught that that's not okay, then it's painful. It can cause emotional pain. Some people pay attention to that rub, to that discomfort, and are willing to look at it. Some people are not. And some people will try to just affirm their way out of discomfort. Well, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. If you keep affirming something that you really have not cleared away the past that doesn't serve you anymore, if you can't clear that away, then how are you going to plant the seed of this thought, this new belief that you want to have, you know, this desire of your heart? So when we're being challenged, a natural thing for us to do with our skin on, a natural thing for us to do is to feel like we need to challenge back. I don't know how many times I've taught classes, or I used to do a thing called spiritual connections, and before the Sunday service we would have discussion, open discussion back and forth about unity principles and things like that. And how many times someone would get that rub against an embedded belief and they would just get upset, not angry with me, but it was upsetting to them, and they're like, but I don't see how that can be. And I said, you don't have to believe a word I'm telling you. This is your experience. I'm just giving you some more information. Would you be willing to take it into the realm of possibility and pray on it and be with it there and see what comes up? And I do encourage people to take a piece of paper or a little book. If you saw this little bitty booklet, this thing is just chock full of wonderful things that I love to have with me. So just having that with you can help. It can help you with your process, because that's what it is. It's a process. Now, let's talk about these little stones. Are there any left over there? Honey, would you give that one to Kevin for me? I don't know that he got one. Very simple lesson, works very well. So these little stones, they're not all polished up, but they're pretty clean. They weren't even recognizable. They just looked like a piece of dirt, right? So the lesson we can get from these little stones is this. Everything that we say, I no longer need this in my life, and you can thank it. You can send it love and release it. You can do a burning bowl. You can write a piece of paper and crumble it up. For most people, it takes more than one time to release something that has really become a part of your way of being, or your way of being. Okay? But what happens is that after a while, and after you practice your spiritual principles, and after you come to the other side of all of that, and you're in that manifestation, and you're demonstrating, okay, so we do the denial, we clear away, we affirm, and we deny and we affirm, deny, we affirm. We do that process over and over as many times as we need to do it. Affirmations are always really, really wonderful. I love them. And what happens is that after a while in our beautiful polishing spiritual practice, what used to be just a piece of the ground becomes shiny, becomes beautiful, and becomes new. You see it differently. See it all differently. You know? Because nothing is truly lost. And I know that several of you know that I've worked in, as an addictions counselor for many, many years. And I always love it when people get to that point that they're grateful that they were addicted. And the reason for that is because they learned so much and their life became so much richer in their awakening to their healing that they believe that wouldn't have happened if the addiction hadn't happened. It's just like these other behaviors. You know, it's like we're so hard on ourselves sometimes about our appearance, about, all kinds of things, not having enough of this or having too much of this or whatever it is. It will all become shiny and be of benefit to us as we are on our spiritual journey. And it will happen over and over again. It's not like we have this one experience and then it's like, yay, I've done it. I've got it. That would be great, but it might be kind of boring too. So it's like you do this piece of work, you clear away that which no longer serves you. And if you need support, that's what community is for. No? Sacred community. I'm sure that in your classes and in your sacred groups and in your prayer chaplain meetings, and you all have a beautiful, wonderful chaplaincy program. I'm a member. We all have a beautiful, wonderful chaplaincy ministry. So what happens is that you create that sacred space just by setting parameters. We're not here to fix. We don't talk over each other. We don't talk about people. We don't share what is in this room with people outside of this room. Just those parameters that we set. If we have to leave the room, we state why and we come right back. Things like that make a space safe. Because if you're telling someone about a behavior of yours or someone that you love that is really blocking your flow of spirit, then it's difficult, very, very difficult to tell it in a place that is not safe. And it's also pretty emotionally damaging. It can be, because what happens is that we have a vulnerability hangover. We become vulnerable. And Brene Brown is so wonderful in talking about this, that we become vulnerable and we share all this information because it feels so good and so wonderful and kumbaya and all those kinds of things. And then we walk away, and if it's not truly a safe environment, then we feel really, really badly about sharing. Even if it is a safe environment, that can still happen to us. But we can check in with each other and say, we are safe, right? We are safe. And also, just pray it up. Pray it up. I am safe. My words are sacred. I surround myself with people who love, honor, and respect their relationship and their time with me. I am drawn to them because we love each other, and it is evident, and it is strong, and it is of spirit, and it opens the flow of my spiritual path so that I become very vivid, and it is evident that I am a beautiful, beneficial presence in this world. Yes? Can we say that together? I am a beautiful, beneficial presence in this world. Can we together? I am a beautiful, beneficial presence in this world. And you know, those things that no longer served us, it's going to be amazing, because I know that you've all had these experiences. I'm just reminding you. That's all. That's all. So what happens is that all of a sudden we go, you know what? I wouldn't have been here if this hadn't happened. How great is that? Wow, how great is that? You know, the celebration of these things that were so very painful. And we need to honor that and get the love and nurturing. We just don't need to drown in it, you know? You know, that's the part. When we feel ourselves really slipping away, we need to get help. Yeah, we need help from our friends. And our greatest friends are our friends that tell us the truth, whether it's what we want to hear or not. Woo. Amen? Okay, so I love you. I appreciate you. In our denials, we say, I no longer. So let me do this. I no longer need to speak negatively about myself. And I now affirm that I am a loving expression of God, that my intention is of goodness, and I have no power over how my intention is received. My intention is of love and of goodness. Thank you, and so it is. See? And so now what happens is, and I pray that often, I no longer, because there are days when I don't feel like I've done enough, that I've been enough, that I've slept in too late, or stayed up too, especially with the Hallmark Christmas movies. I am a Hallmark Christmas movie junkie. It's, you know, there's always a good ending. You know, me and my dog in the sofa, and Pat usually kind of goes to another room because she's not so much into the Hallmark Christmas movies as I am. But it's also just a beautiful gift because it's something that my mother and I did every year. And so I love it, and I embrace it. So it is a gift to me. And there is nothing wrong with that. Just like there's nothing wrong with sleeping in. There's nothing wrong with staying up late. As long as you're able to, if you make a commitment, then honor it. Do your very best. And when I say honor it, that means show up, do your best. If you're not sick, if you're, you know, take care of yourself in the process. That's what honoring that means. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to have a little meditative prayer service together. And I realize we're running pretty close on time, so I'm not going to hurry through. I'm just going to be with you, and we'll be in this place. of stillness and soft music together. I don't know where the switch is, but if someone would dim the lights, that would be great. The first song that I'm going to sing is Sweep Over My Soul, which is a very old Unity song, but it speaks to denials and affirmations, and it's a little upbeat, but after that, everything will be soft. Sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Come, precious Spirit, sweep over my soul. Sweep out pain and fear. Sweep out pain and fear. Come, precious Spirit, sweep out pain and fear. Sweep in love and joy. Sweep in love and joy. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep in love and joy. Sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Come, gracious Spirit, sweep over my soul. So I invite you, if you're willing, to gently close your eyes and place both feet on the floor and allow yourself to be comfortable. Just feel that beautiful love light, that God light flowing in and through your body. All systems are working in perfect harmony together right now. You are beloved. You are beloved. How could anyone ever tell you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you were So I invite you now to welcome the silence. We'll take about 2 minutes in the silence. And we open ourselves to that time right now. So I invite you now to take in a deep, cleansing breath. This is a song by Daniel Nahmod. It's one of my very favorites. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed. with you for just a moment about sacred exchange, about our giving and receiving. Prosperity is evident in our lives right here and now. We know that as we give, we receive. It is also an act of faith. It's an act of faith. When we give, it's an act of faith that we know that our prosperity will continue. And in the physicality of our monies, which is the exchange that it takes to keep the lights on and the rent paid and salaries and things like that, we recognize that as essential in this community. So we affirm together that this is a prosperous community, and we are very happy to give, and we see the abundance everywhere present. We are happy to give, and we see abundance everywhere present. With me, we are happy to give, and we see abundance everywhere present. And so let us do that now. For those of you who are online, please know that you can contribute. It is very easy to do. There are several ways to give. They've made it so very easy online for us to do that. You can do it through PayPal. You can do it through the button. You can do it through any way on the website, and I believe on Facebook as well. Is that correct, Kevin? Yeah, there is. So please support this beautiful community. Thank you. Now for the closing prayer. I wanted to get calm and centered. We are so grateful for this day, for this time together, for this beautiful, loving community, and for the teachings. We see the minister here, Reverend Bronte, enjoying her day and coming back renewed, restored, and as always, happy to be here. We are a beneficial presence in this world. We are a light in this world, and we shine so bright. Today, as we come together, I feel illumined. I feel better. I feel connected from being here today with you all. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for this community, for our life, for our prosperity of body, mind, and spirit. And we know that God is our source, and that with God as our source, nothing can truly disturb the calm peace of our souls. And so it is. Amen. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being with us today.